Welcome back to Learn English with Podcast. I'm Amelia, and with me today is Sam. And we're tackling a big one, discipline.
Hey everyone. Yeah, discipline. The word itself can sound a bit harsh, almost like a punishment. I totally agree.
Exactly. When we say discipline, a lot of people think of strict teachers, or rigid rules, or forcing yourself to do things you hate. But there's so much more to it than that.
I think of discipline as the ability to choose between what you want now and what you want most.
Ooh, I like that. It's about having that internal compass, right? That helps you stay on course even when it's tough?
Precisely. It's not about being a robot or never having fun. It's about having the self-control and the commitment to follow through on your goals and values.
So, why do you think so many people struggle with it? I mean, we all want to be disciplined in some areas of our lives, but actually being disciplined is another story.
I think there are a few key reasons. One is that we live in a world of instant gratification. We're used to getting what we want right away: fast food, streaming services, online shopping. This makes it harder to delay gratification for long-term rewards.
That's so true. We've kind of lost the art of waiting, haven't we? Everything is so immediate.
Exactly. And another reason, I think, is fear of discomfort. Discipline often requires us to step outside our comfort zones, to face challenges, and to push ourselves. And that can be scary.
Definitely. It's much easier to stay cozy in our routines than to embrace the unknown and the difficult.
And then there's the whole motivation thing. Sometimes we start out strong, all fired up and ready to go, but then motivation wanes, and discipline is what's supposed to carry us through, but it often doesn't.
Yes. Motivation is like that unreliable friend who's super enthusiastic at the beginning of a project but then disappears when the real work starts. So how do we build this discipline muscle? Is it something you're born with, or can you actually learn it?
Definitely the latter. It's like any other skill, you have to practice it and develop it over time. And there are strategies you can use to make it easier.
Okay, lay them on us. I think we could all use a bit of discipline boot camp.
Well, first off, I think it's crucial to define your why.
Your why?
Yeah. Why do you want to be more disciplined in a particular area of your life? What's your underlying reason? What's the bigger goal you're working towards?
That makes sense. If you don't have a compelling reason, it's going to be much harder to stick with it when things get tough. It's like saying you want to get in shape. That's different than saying I want to get in shape so I can run a marathon with my best friend next year and raise money for cancer research, which my mom died from.
Exactly. The more emotionally connected you are to your goal, the more motivated you'll be to stay disciplined.
So, it's not just about the end result, but also about the meaning behind it.
Precisely. And once you've defined your why, the next step is to set clear, specific goals.
I know I've heard this before, but it's so true. Instead of saying, I want to be more disciplined with my finances, you'd say, I want to save $500 a month for the next year.
Exactly. The more specific your goals are, the easier it is to track your progress and stay motivated. And it's important to make them realistic and achievable, at least initially.
Right, because if you set the bar too high and you fail, it can be discouraging and make you want to give up altogether.
Absolutely. It's better to start with small, manageable goals and gradually increase the challenge as you build your discipline muscle. It's like training for a marathon. You don't start by running 26 miles on your first day.
Okay, so we've got a strong why and clear goals. What's next in our discipline building toolkit?
I'd say creating a plan is essential. This involves breaking down your larger goal into smaller, more manageable steps.
Like a roadmap?
Exactly. A roadmap with clear milestones and deadlines. This makes the whole process feel less overwhelming and more doable.
I'm a big fan of to-do lists. Would that fall under planning?
Definitely. To-do lists, schedules, calendars, anything that helps you organize your tasks and allocate your time effectively.
I also find that if I schedule something, I'm much more likely to do it. If I just say, I'll exercise more, it's probably not going to happen. But if I put gym 6 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday in my calendar, it's like an appointment I have to keep.
That's a great strategy. And it also highlights the importance of time management. Discipline isn't just about willpower, it's also about how you structure your time and your environment.
Ah, yes, the dreaded time management. I'm a recovering procrastinator, so this is a big one for me.
Me too. And one thing that's helped me is to identify my biggest time wasters. For me, it's social media. I can easily lose hours scrolling through Instagram without even realizing it.
Oh, the black hole of social media. I know it well.
So, I've had to put strategies in place to minimize those distractions. I use apps that block certain websites during specific times, and I try to keep my phone out of sight when I'm working on something important.
That's smart. I've heard of the Pomodoro technique, too, where you work in focused bursts with short breaks in between. Does that help with discipline?
Absolutely. The Pomodoro technique can be a great way to improve focus and productivity, which are essential components of discipline. It helps you avoid burnout and maintain momentum.
I need to try that. I tend to work in these frantic bursts of energy followed by periods of complete exhaustion and avoidance. Not a very sustainable way to operate.
Definitely not. And speaking of sustainability, another crucial element of discipline is consistency.
Ah, yes, the magic word.
Exactly. Because feelings are fleeting. They come and go. But discipline is about having that commitment that goes beyond your current mood.
That's the million-dollar question. One thing that helps me is to build habits.
That's true. Habits are crucial. Once something becomes a habit, it takes less effort to do it.
They really are. Because once something becomes a habit, it requires less willpower to do it. It becomes more automatic.
Exactly. So, the key is to turn the behaviors that support your goals into habits. Start small, be consistent, and gradually increase the intensity or duration over time.
I've heard it takes about 21 days to form a habit. Is that true?
It's a popular idea, but the research actually shows it varies a lot depending on the person and the habit. It could take anywhere from a few weeks to several months.
Okay, good to know. So, patience is key, as always.
Definitely. And while we're on the topic of habits, I think it's important to create a supportive environment.
How do you mean?
Well, think about it. If you're trying to eat healthier, but your kitchen is full of junk food, it's going to be much harder to stay disciplined.
True. It's like setting yourself up for failure.
Exactly. So, you want to surround yourself with things that make it easier to stick to your goals. If you want to exercise more, join a gym or find a workout buddy. If you want to write a book, create a dedicated writing space.
I love that. It's about designing your environment for success, rather than relying solely on willpower.
Precisely. Willpower is a limited resource. We only have so much of it, and it gets depleted throughout the day. So, the less you have to rely on it, the better.
That's a really good point. I never thought about willpower like that. So, what happens when you slip up? Because let's face it, no one's perfect.
That's inevitable. We're all going to have setbacks. The key is to treat setbacks as learning opportunities, not as failures.
Okay, that's a good mindset shift.
Yeah. Instead of beating yourself up, try to analyze what went wrong. What triggered the slip-up? What can you do differently next time?
So, it's about being kind to yourself, but also holding yourself accountable.
Exactly. And remember that progress, not perfection, is the goal. It's okay to stumble along the way. Just get back on track as soon as you can.
This has all been so helpful, Sam. It's making me realize that discipline isn't this rigid, unachievable thing. It's a set of skills and strategies that we can all learn and develop.
Absolutely. And it's so worth it. Because the more disciplined you become, the more you empower yourself to create the life you want.
I love that. It's about taking control, right?
Exactly. It's about taking control of your actions, your choices, and your habits, so you can achieve your goals and live in alignment with your values.
So, to recap, for anyone out there who wants to boost their discipline, define your why, set clear goals, create a plan, manage your time effectively, be consistent, build habits, design a supportive environment, treat setbacks as learning opportunities, and remember that progress, not perfection, is the goal.
Nailed it. And I'd add one more thing: celebrate your progress.
Oh, that's a good one. We often forget to do that.
It's so important. Because discipline is a marathon, not a sprint. And celebrating your milestones along the way helps you stay motivated and reinforces those disciplined behaviors.
So, make sure to reward yourself for those small wins. Not with something that contradicts your goal, hopefully.
Exactly. Find healthy ways to acknowledge your progress, whether it's treating yourself to a relaxing bath, spending time with loved ones, or doing something you enjoy.
This has been such an insightful conversation, Sam. I'm feeling inspired to go out there and get my discipline on.
Me too, Amelia. It's a lifelong journey, but it's a journey that's incredibly empowering and rewarding.
Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us today, Sam. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in to Learn English with Podcast. We'll be back next week with another episode to help you improve your English and navigate the complexities of life. Until then, stay disciplined, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Stay disciplined.